Our landscape is littered with abandoned spaces, sad monuments to a time long forgotten. While most people are oblivious to their existence, there are those who see them as portals to the past. They go in looking for answers and share what they find online. Not your everyday urban explorer, but seekers of truth, trying to uncover a history abandoned. We dug into the secretive online world of the urban explorer and found a lot of chatter on social media. We found many that mentioned 3 hotspots in New York. Vocative decided to investigate. Today we explore Seaview Farm Colony.
Today we are checking out the farm colony in Staten Island. Sometimes you hear Staten Island called the Forgotten Borough. We're in what is probably the most forgotten corner of the Forgotten Borough. So we just pulled up to the farm colony, found a big old hole in the fence, had to go through a little nature trail to get here. The farm colony is composed of about a dozen pretty large structures that were a part of an institution, and it was founded around the first half of the 1800s. The idea behind the farm colony was to have a place where the poorest citizens of New York could come and live, to sort of segregate them from society, and to give them access to health care, give them a roof over their head. And the idea was that they would work the land in exchange for that. We're about to step inside this building, which was once the laundry building. So right behind me is one of the largest open spaces in the farm colony. You'll find that there's not a lot of stuff left behind here. Mostly it's been totally gutted, totally wrecked by decades of vandalism. Yeah, we can get around this way. This is where I usually go from. We're about to head into one of these later dormitories. These were built around the 1930s. So I think we'll head into the basement first. This is where I take people when I want to really creep them out, because it's just totally pitch black. This place, you hear a lot of rumors about it, but there's really not much truth to a lot of those rumors. And a lot of that comes from the fact that nearby in the same area you had Willowbrook State School that actually has a real place in the history of, the treatment of the developmentally disabled. And in the 1970s you had Geraldo Rivera coming in and doing this expose on the conditions there that were really truly horrific. Later, the institution was closed down. Willowbrook State School, when it was abandoned, was connected to this series of child murders that took place in the 70s and 80s in Staten Island. The man who is thought responsible for those murders, which usually involved disabled kids, is Andre Rand, who was a former orderly at Willowbrook. And once it was shut down, he stayed on and kept living in the abandoned hospital, supposedly in the tunnels underground. And in fact, one of the bodies of the victims was found buried in a shallow grave not far from his campsite in the abandoned Willowbrook State Hospital. And it's so nearby that all of that kind of mythology and those stories have transferred over to the farm colony. But you can definitely see that it's really ripe for those kinds of urban legends, because it is undeniably creepy. And that's what brings so many people here. Right now we are in the former cafeteria, though you probably wouldn't be able to figure that out without some historic maps. Like most of these buildings, there's really nothing left. It's really just an empty shell that by this point just looks like a war zone. once people checked into the farm colony, they never really left. And a lot of people lived there for the rest of their lives. And this building in particular has this beautiful staircase. This was another dormitory. The stairwells tend to last longer, but if you come out a little further, you see there's really nothing left of the building, but it's totally just given over to nature in this really beautiful way. But here you can see all these old beds. You can see how long this thing has been here. There's a sapling growing out of it. It's pretty magical right now, this condition it's in. You know, you almost feel like you're discovering some ancient civilization. And it's crazy to think that all this happened in like 40 years.